What was your first interest in the entertainment industry?
Well, I grew up in showbiz. My dad is an avant-garde chamber music composer and loved movies growing up. Amazing man, Stanley Silverman. And my mom was an opera singer turned theater producer and eventually a television executive in kind of the birth of cable TV, mainly driven by the fact that my dad's avant-garde composing couldn't pay for dinner, let alone college. And so she had to kind of sell out to television, but they were both kind of darlings of the intellectual set of late 60s, early 70s, New York City, and both loved movies, musicals, ballet, opera, and I just grew up in the arts. My stepmom, who my father married after my mom and he got divorced, is a brilliant violinist. My little sister wrote for the New York Times and can play the lute. My older sister is a painter, so it just was surrounded by creativity, but also I really had an ambition to figure out a way to do it on a high commercial level that could reach as wide an audience as possible and then maybe become more lucrative. And I also grew up, my parents got divorced when I was 4 as a latchkey kid in New York City. And I literally was raised by television. I mean, that watched every single show, every morality test, every part of my upbringing was informed by MASH and I Love Lucy and a multitude of TV hits.
I mean, I totally get that. I grew up in a big family of 5, and the TV was our parents, So it's a great thing to have. Yeah, that's awesome.
More specifically to that point, a little bit more down the road, what were your first jobs in entertainment?
During college, I did a number of interns that my mom helped me get when she was working in cable TV. She introduced me a number of people, including Eric Frankel, who was at Warner Brothers. And I worked in a series of Warner Brothers internships across different divisions, from the sales division to the animation division. And eventually, when I went to Paris to study abroad, even worked in the Paris office of Warner Brothers to try and learn kind of international, production. And then from there, graduated and became an assistant at CBS, and then got hired by a woman named Barbara Corday, who was a brilliant visionary co-creator of Cagney and Lacey. And within one day, she had promoted me 3 different times and told me it would be in Variety the next day. We were an office of 3 people, so it was easy to promote me. But she opened, with, I really think we should say that you've joined the company when I came in the morning, and we'll call you the development coordinator. And then by lunchtime, she came back from lunch and said, I was really thinking about it, and you should be the manager of development. And then before we left the office, she goes, the press will be out tomorrow, buddy. You're the director of development. And I was like, this is a good start.
Oh man.
Best day ever.
And that sequences of hard work and good luck and, being in the lucky moment or right dynamic in the right moment really helped accelerate my career early.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm sure you left work smiling that day.
Yeah, totally.
That's awesome.
Every day for Barbara was awesome.
Well, I mean, that sounds like a super fast, really awesome way to get in. Were there any things you'd say, any obstacles you faced early on, or was it just like, hey, I went from this to 3?
Totally, seesawed my way across, many, many challenges in many moments as a aspiring, creative person and producer and executive, and, living in the studio apartment, typing on a typewriter outside of an office in a line of kind of cubicles at CBS, where I was the secretary to start, and having an actual roach infested studio apartment on Sierra Bonita, where I had a system of walking across the floor to the bathroom, so I never touched the floor, on books and other things that were raised up to avoid the roaches. So, had all of that, and then throughout my career have either found challenges or been, annoyed or, beaten to the punch in something I wanted to do, or, mischaracterized by kind of inane digital press or whatever it is. I found sequences of challenge and hurdle all along the way. And then it's just a highly competitive business. It just happens to be intrinsically competitive, and one in which so many of the players believe in a zero-sum game. Like, they can't revel in their own success. They have to find someone's downfall to feel their success. There's so many great lines about it, but like no one catches a falling knife in Hollywood.
Thank you for watching Studio 22.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
And follow our socials at Studio 22 Podcast.